Anime's popularity in the West is increasing, but despite the growing number of conventions, meeting fellow anime lovers is hard. At Northwestern University, some students, like Kaylin Reimer and Raymond Chan, are trying to help fix this problem by restarting a student anime club. Naturally, they had a lot to say about the genre and some of the hurdles newcomers face when they first begin watching.
They do a lot of stuff in animation in Japan that they just don't do here, and I think that's the appeal. Yeah, I think it's mainly like, I think the main distinction is it's for kids, period, and I don't think there's really that distinction in Japan. I think it's just kind of there for everybody, and that's why you get all the different themes present.
A lot of times, anime will allow the creator of the story to be more creative without thinking about, well, can I make this in a movie? Can I actually add the digital effects in? I mean, there's no digital effects; it's just drawing, and it's just like it's like a book. You can write a book about anything. You can make an anime about everything, but you can't necessarily make a movie about everything because of the limitations of technology. Even though we're pretty close to breaking all of those too, but even so, the anime allows the creator to create their own world without trying to make a world within our world right now.
It's more aesthetically pleasing, whereas in animation it's just kind of more fluid and it looks like it fits, and you can, so like any genre, like science fiction, you can get totally like engrossed in like this, they can make a whole nother world, whereas it's kind of hard to do that with live action stuff.
I really enjoy the animes that incorporate everything, like a little bit of comedy, a little bit of drama, and a little bit of romance, or even just like real life anime itself, which is almost in another sense just another TV show. I feel that animation in Western cultures is geared toward children more and geared towards supernatural and superhuman, versus the anime which is geared on culture, which is geared on actual things that may or may not happen, stories that may not necessarily have a superhero or are just kiddish.
And I think, again, just going back to the themes, like you could watch something funny, like you could watch something really serious, you could watch like comedy, like romance kind of deal, like it's just, it has everything available, and there's so much of it that's constantly coming out that's like always new.
To those who haven't seen it, I feel they think it's just another animation. Since, you know, most of us, if not all of us, grown up on Disney.
I mean, I have friends who don't really watch it all, and like if I tell them a show, so like if I had to tell a friend right now that was like the same age as me a show to watch, I'd probably tell them to watch Death Note, and like I have, and there have been tons of people who are like, you know, this show is like, it's really sweet, like it's really cool, and again, I think that comes back to just people don't really know that there's like cartoons out there, or animation out there that incorporates like these adult-ish themes.
That I've seen, it's nothing but big boobs and hentai. With people with open minds, I usually try to tell them, you know, just watch something that you may enjoy. Try not to say it's an animation, it's just a show, and hopefully they'll enjoy it, and if they don't, then they don't.
Do you think anime's become more popular?
Yeah, definitely, for sure. So people are just generally more exposed to it, and like you have Spirited Away, like out of the Academy Awards, like winning stuff. So, and Howl's Moving Castle. So yeah, it's definitely, but again, I think that's just the internet and just kind of exposure to everything.
I think that shows like big shows like Naruto and Bleach, and even like the old Pokemon and Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball Z shows, and anything on Adult Swim really draw people in, and it's a good starting point, because even myself, I don't try to go look for new anime personally, because one, I don't have the time, and two, even if I do have the time, it's very hard, and for people who aren't technologically savvy, they can't exactly access it. So a lot of times Adult Swim and buying DVDs, which are like $30 for 2 episodes, isn't exactly worth it. Now, I think the 4th generation will be, I guess if you call it a 4th generation, they'll be bigger, just because the access to anime is so much more prevalent now than, say, in like the 3rd generation. I mean, I bet nearly everyone's watched Pokemon and enjoyed Pokemon. You know, they don't admit it nowadays. But back then, like how did we get anime? We bought it. we shelled out $30 for back then it was like 4 or 5 shows on a disc, and we shelled out money, and those who could afford it would, you know, make their anime collections grow, and they'd spend hundreds of dollars on anime. And I guess actually back then I remember that anime was so expensive that it was very hard for people to get in and enjoy it. And they ended up borrowing things from friends, and maybe once in a while when they really, really enjoyed something, they'd go and buy it. So I think with the 4th generation, with now like YouTube and VO and torrents and downloading, the 4th generation will come and enjoy more anime, and it'll kind of broaden the culture over, like, I guess the 3rd and 2nd and 1st generations, where we just had the TV and maybe once in a while we could borrow DVD or tape.
I mean, that's huge. That was like the greatest thing ever for anime fans, you know, like before when you're trying to get like VHS tapes from like random friends, it was ridiculous. But now it's so easy. I think that's kind of why it's been just becoming more of a growing thing over here in the States, just because it's so much easier to get, and it's free, which obviously helps. Free. So I think that's definitely huge. Like, it's been the biggest, I don't even know what it's called, like the biggest boost in viewership, I think, would be from the internet, for sure.
Stigmas that I've heard.
I think, so like here we don't really have, like, people don't know, who don't watch like the otaku term. So I mean, it's not like people who watch it, I don't really think they think of it as like perverted. They just think of it as, you know, it's nerdy, and again, it's like the kid theme, or like people, you get the socially inept, like kind of goofy, weird, and like there are those kids that watch, but I think when kids are like that, they just kind of embrace it, and like that's just the way they want to be. They really don't care, and it's kind of the same for me. Like, I mean, I don't know if I'm like socially inept or goofy or nerdy or anything, but if someone thought that, I really wouldn't care.
Because a lot of Asians end up watching it, and a lot of Asians in America end up being smart or geeky or nerdy, that the whole nerdy otaku, thick big glasses culture has kind of encompassed, and it's like a stigma or stereotype of anime watchers. Although,
so yeah, I think a lot of people here just kind of write it off as either nerdy or like kiddie, and just not worth your time.
Hopefully that stigma will slowly disappear, but it definitely will always be a joke.
So the club here, it's kind of cool, just to have other people who are into, even if they're not into the same shows, into similar stuff. So like they know what you're talking about when you say something about a show or when you make a reference.
Anime Club, it's kind of an on-off thing, I feel, in the last couple of years, and we've really been trying to bring new members back in and trying to create a community here at Northwestern that would thrive and watch anime and discuss anime with other people. Right now, like, I know people that watch anime that may not be in the club, and it's kind of a splintered group of individuals that are just friends that meet up rather than an entire group. And so I think Anime Club right now is trying to restart that whole group mentality of, you know, just watching together, having fun with people and trying new things.
And so it's just kind of cool to actually have like live, like in-person interaction with others like that. So I think that's the coolest thing about the club.